Tempt. Romance audiobooks. A safe place to explore your dreams.
Chapter 1. Vaughn. My buddies had done this to me on purpose. I was sure of it. Logically, I knew that me being left to man the office was probably just all a coincidence. My two closest friends and I had set up a security firm, Elite Protection and Consulting, EPC for short, and oftentimes our work took us afield. We catered to the needs of our customers, going to a location to guard someone or set up a security system or something else of that nature wasn't unusual. Both of my partners being gone on assignments at the same time? Sure, it was bound to happen at some point, and since I currently wasn't on a case, that left me in charge of the office. My very least favorite thing in the world to do. I wasn't what anyone would consider a cordial, sociable man, or even a patient man. I liked losing myself in an assignment, preferably outside of the office and alone, my sole focus on getting my client a positive outcome. I liked the mental and physical exertion of doing, not sitting idly behind a desk, tapping away on a computer for hours at a time. Being the cheerful meet and greet at the office was scraping the bottom of the barrel of my skill sets and social abilities. Cheerful wasn't a word in my vocabulary, and my partners knew this. I'm sure they were laughing their asses off when they realized I was going to have to be the one to deal with any issues or problems that arose where clients demanded to speak to someone in charge. Admittedly, I loved being in charge. What I didn't love was coddling anyone, including a client. "It's only a few days," Bryce, one of the partners, said before he left to take care of an out-of-state case. "You can handle a few days on your own here at the office." No, I really couldn't. I was bored out of my mind on top of it all. I was a man of action. We all were, obviously, so it wasn't like I was special in that regard, but without anything to do, I started to climb up the damn walls. There weren't any other really pressing matters going on at the company, so between fielding the needs of difficult clients and being stuck in the office, I thought I was going to go insane. Then I walked in on Monday morning. The weekend hadn't really been a weekend for me since I'd had the aforementioned demanding clients to wrangle and appease, but I hoped that with the start of a new week, things would look up. That maybe, hopefully, an exciting case would come my way that would send me back into the field where I did my best work. I walked into the lobby and nodded at our receptionist, Lisa. "Anything interesting going on?" I asked, even though we'd just opened.
"There's donuts in the break room,"
Lisa suggested with a grin. "Are they poisoned?" I deadpanned.
"I could poison them for you if that would make you happy,"
she suggested, unfazed by my dry and sometimes cantankerous humor. Lisa was our receptionist because she had the excellent ability to dish my sarcasm right back at me and was eager to please. It wasn't an easy combination to find in an employee, which made her invaluable in my opinion. "I think I'll live," I replied.
"Not if there's poison in the donuts."
I chuckled, my mood a little lighter. And then I saw Lisa's eyes widened as she took in something over my shoulder. I turned, wondering what had her so confused. A woman was entering the building with a slight limp. The closer she came to the reception area, the more I could see she was a disaster. She looked like she'd sprinted here, her hair a bit frizzy and her face pink and shining with sweat. Her eyes were wide and wild, and she looked like she was in a panic as she kept glancing over her shoulder, as if she'd expected someone to be chasing her.
"Ma'am,"
Lisa said, standing up instantly in work mode.
"are you all right?"
I noted that the woman wore expensive, well-made clothes. Nothing that obviously screamed designer label, and nothing that most people would notice at first glance. But having worked with a lot of rich people, I'd learned how to recognize higher-end clothing. Aside from the clothes she wore, which were slightly wrinkled and askew, I noticed some pale patches on her skin, specifically her wrist and the ring finger on her left hand, spots where jewelry had been. There were also odd amounts of dirt on her shoes and heavy dark bags under her eyes as though she hadn't slept peacefully in days. Usually, this was a woman I would call beautiful. She had the facial features and curves for it, and wavy strawberry blonde hair with warm brown eyes, full breasts, killer legs, and a lush mouth that had my brain conjuring all sorts of filthy fantasies. But right now, she was frazzled. No, she actually looked hunted. That was the word I would use to describe her, as if she were a gazelle being chased down by a predator and she had nowhere left to go to escape the threat. "Hi." The woman straightened herself up and smoothed her hand over her blouse in a vain attempt to act like everything was normal. "I'm Claire Turner. I was hoping I could hire this firm's services." Her voice was rich, low, and velvety, and I felt my cock twitch in my pants. It was the kind of voice I'd normally fall head over heels for. If we were at a party or a club, I'd be figuring out how to hear that voice scream my name as I fucked her through the damn mattress later that evening. This wasn't a party or a club, though. This was the lobby of my office building, and she was talking like we had a standing appointment, which we didn't. She held out her hand. I stared at her. I was pretty sure Lisa was staring at her, too. Was she really going to act like she just hadn't rushed in here like a masked killer with a machete was on her tail? "Be professional, you dickhead," a voice in the back of my head chided me. It sounded annoyingly like Bryce. I slid my hand into hers. "I'm Vaughn Hughes, one of the 3 men who run this place. Nice to meet you, Miss Turner." As I shook her slender hand, I noticed the expensive clothes would normally suggest she could afford our services, but not in their current state. Maybe you should get her out of those clothes. I mentally swatted the dirty, inappropriate thought away. My brothers in arms would never let me hear the end of it if I fucked a client. We had a strict policy about not mixing business and pleasure. All 3 of us were men who heartily enjoyed women and all the things we could do with them, so when we'd formed EPC, we'd promised to keep it in our pants when it came to clients so that we wouldn't cause any problems like conflicts of interest. "Ms. Turner, what exactly is your problem?" I asked. Claire's eyebrows rose along with the tone of her voice as if I'd just insulted her. "What exactly is my problem?" Yeah, this was why I let the other guys deal with people. I tried to be a bit more diplomatic. "You're in one of the best and most expensive security firms in the area. I assume there's a problem you need us to handle?" I realized I was still holding her hand and forced myself to let go. Claire's cheeks flushed a little pink. That knowledge brought a pleased little purr to my chest. Good to know she was equally attracted and that I could probably still make her my plaything if I wanted to, even though she was technically off limits. "There is a problem," Claire acknowledged, shifting on her heels. "But the problem with the problem is that I don't know what's going on." I folded my arms across my broad chest and noted that she tracked the movement, her eyes going a little wide as the burgundy dress shirt I wore stretched tight across various muscles. I smirked. Yeah, I was built. You had to be strong in the military and prepared to go hand to protect your clients every day. Since leaving the service, I'd kept in shape, and it showed. "That's not really very helpful," I pointed out. Claire glared at me. "It's not like I'm trying to be unhelpful." "Look, no offense, but..." I exhaled an irritable sigh and gestured toward her. "We get a fair number of people like you." "People like me?" she repeated incredulously. "Let me guess," I drawled, doing my best to summarize the situation. "You don't know who's after you, but you think someone has been following you. You've tried going to the police, but they don't believe you because you have no proof or evidence, and so now you're here to hire us." Her lips pursed in annoyance. "Yes." "Here's the thing, Miss Turner. We only deal with the most serious cases. We're not a cheap company. We can't help people who just think they might be in trouble because they're paranoid. Have you spoken to a doctor?" Okay, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that last part out loud, judging by Claire's reaction. Have I spoken to it? Claire bristled even more, and she was pretty damn sexy when she was incensed, her eyes blazing with fury. I'm not crazy or imagining this, you asshole, and I think you've got a hell of a nerve to tell me. Her words were cut off by the sound of shattering glass. A fun fact about bullets: they move so fast through the air that they change the air itself around them, like ripples in water. Most people couldn't sense it, but when you were around flying bullets long enough the way I was in the military, your body picked up the ability to sense that change in air pressure, to know instinctively when one was headed your way. It was like many other areas of expertise. The more time you put into something, the more subtle clues your brain and body picked up on, until you could do things like tell the differences in medication just based on the slight difference in viscosity between them. So as soon as the bullet pierced the front window, I was already in action. I didn't know who was being aimed at, but Claire was in front of me. My battle instincts took over and I tackled Claire to the ground as a second later a bullet whizzed over our heads and hit the marble wall behind us, sending chunks of it flying. Lisa screamed and ducked down behind her desk. I was glad she wasn't the target. She'd moved 3 seconds too late and would have been hit if the sniper aimed for her. And it was a sniper. I knew that too just from seeing where the glass had shattered and where the bullet had hit the wall. Nobody could have gotten that close to our building and not been spotted anyway. We had security cameras and sensors, but a skilled sniper could make the shot through the large glass front entrance from a distance if they wanted to. Claire clutched at me, trembling alarmingly with fear. I hauled her to her feet and quickly booked it for the elevator with her in front of me so my back was a shield. Whoever this person was, I doubted they had an all clear to kill anyone beside their target. Especially if whoever ordered the kill on Claire had any idea who me and my buddies were. Most people in the business of killing or protecting did. Lisa, stay down, I yelled the order. Security team's already on their way. We never planned for our office to be attacked, after all, but when you worked in the business that we did, you just folded these kinds of contingencies into your team training. Now it looked like our preparative measures were going to pay off. The elevator opened, and I pushed Claire inside with one hand and pulled out my key card with the other. That key card, combined with the typed-in code, would override the elevator shutdown if the security team went into lockdown. With a sniper outside, I didn't think they would. That kind of situation was for an intruder, but you never knew what they might deem appropriate. I'd trained these guys, after all, and I hadn't trained them to slack on the job. The elevator took us right up to the top floor into the offices I shared with my 3 partners. Our building was taller than the others in the area, built specifically so that unless someone was hovering around on a helicopter, they couldn't snipe us. Claire trembled next to me. I had the instinct to put my arm around her and comfort her with how hard she was shaking, but I didn't think she'd like that, seeing as we literally just met and she clearly didn't like me. And really, when did I ever have the urge to console anyone? This is how it's been, she whispered, hugging her arms around her midsection. Her face had gone pale and her eyes were wide and glassy, like she was watching a horror film unfold for the 10th time. It still scared her, but she knew how everything was going to go. Clearly, her mind was warring between adrenaline and exhaustion. Whatever had been going on with this woman, this wasn't the first instance. How long had she been stalked? And yeah, maybe I was an asshole for doubting her. Grabbing her arm, I hauled her out of the elevator as the door opened, leading her into my private office and paging security to let them know where I was and that I had the target safe with me. Then I turned to face the beautiful and trouble-making Claire Turner, a woman I had the distinct impression was about to turn my own life upside down and inside out by the sheer virtue of the way she had just proven me, of all people, wrong. All right, I ordered, using that firm, adamant tone of voice that let someone know I wasn't messing around. You want to tell me exactly what's going on? To her credit, she did, in fact, tell me everything. Unfortunately, everything wasn't much.
You can listen to the rest of the book in the Tempt Romance Audiobooks app, available on the App Store and Google Play. The link to the book is in the description. Discover even more bestsellers and exclusive stories updated weekly, only in Tempt Romance Audiobooks.